first. So two things multiplied together equals 0. The most fundamental thing here is to realize that one of those things has to be 0. Either this first parenthesis is equal to 0, or it could be that this parenthesis is equal to 0, because when you have two things multiplied together and the answer is 0, one of those things got to be 0. 0 times anything is 0. Okay, so why don't we, since we know that one of those things has to be 0, let's take each one individually and set it equal to 0. So here's 2x. We'll do the first one plus some square root thing equals 0. Now, I don't need the parentheses now because there's nothing over here that's multiplied with anything else, which makes it a little easier. And the other equation I'm going to solve in just a minute, the 5x plus 19 equals 0. Now, the idea is to get x alone. You always want to get x alone, and you have to sort of start with... Now, somebody created this fucking mess for you by doing some stuff to the x. You need to undo whatever they did to get x alone. And so you basically want to get rid of all the stuff that's been done to the x. And you start with the things that are, say, furthest away. So the x is multiplied by a 2. That's pretty close. The 2 is right next to that x. And then over here, you have something added on to this x. So the x has something multiplied, the 2, and something added, the square root of 2. To get x alone, we actually want to solve this for x, get x alone. We're going to get rid of the square root part first. We're going to subtract that away. And this is very common. So subtract that thing away, and then you're going to be left with just a 2x equals 0. What's it look like, though, when we subtract the... not 0, sorry. We subtracted it away. When we subtract that square root of 2 away, it's actually going to be minus square root of 2 over here and minus square root of 2 over there. So we're going to have 0 minus square root of 2, which is a negative square root of 2, right? Because on a number line, we got 0, and we're going that way, minus square root of 2, and that's where we are, negative square root of 2, wherever the hell that is, some decimal, negative square root of 2. So now I've almost got the x alone, and just one more step and I've got it. And the only other step to do right now is to realize that we got to undo the multiplication by 2. To undo multiplication, you do the opposite step. Opposite of multiply is divide, and we show our division kind of with a fraction bar. And so when we divide, we create a fraction there. So that's actually one of our answers, right? So it tells me that that has to be one of my answers to this problem. So now you can do some fancy canceling. Which one doesn't have a negative square root of 2 over 2? That one. And that one. Those are gone. So your answer is definitely A or C. So as I look at this little mess here, and I copy down 5x plus square root of 19 equals 0. So I'll subtract the square root of 19, subtract the square root of 19. I've got 5x alone, and I've got negative square root of 19 now. Kind of a mess there, isn't it? Negative square root of 19. Okay, and divide by 5, get x alone, and that's your other answer. Negative square root of 19 over 5. Which one is that?